Guys, shall we get started with this one? Oh boy, like I know a lot of you guys are waiting for this. Please remember this Umamusume. I actually have no idea what to expect. I know some of y'all made a joke when I forgot her name when I was playing the game, right? Like, no, you gotta remember Machan, but I don't know the context. I genuinely don't know the context. So, all right, I'm looking forward to this. Pyrex, as always, thank you so much for your hard work. My brother, I appreciate it big time. Let's check this out for the very first time, shall we? Tissues, noted. I've got them. This is right now, season 3.
それでは改めまして自己紹介をしましょう。こんにちは、アストンマーちゃんです。よろしくね。
Oh, yo, this editing is mad. This editing is mad, bro, already. I love the OC as well.
In Umamusume, the drive is always present to obtain an ever-growing pool of Umas to race. Even if a player is unable to obtain a specific character, information regarding them can still be found in the game's trainer notes. Though a brief overview, with some features still locked, the player can still view Umas they've yet to obtain, with most being unreleased in the global version. These Umas are added if a player has either encountered or raced against them in their careers.
Oh.
This is the case for all but one Uma, who doesn't appear unless pulled. Until that point, she ceases to exist in that world. So why is this the case?
Damn.
Why does this Umamusume remain hidden despite the strong urge to be remembered? Who is this Uma? And what was the career of the racehorse she was modeled after? Today, I intend to dive into these topics and present to you a story of regret and remembrance, a rivalry that never was, and a memory fleetly fading with time. This is the story of Aston.
Don't tell me she's a ghost. This isn't gonna be like she's just a part of our imagination.
Be forgotten. This video
There's no
will
way.
act as one of two parts, covering both the real-life history and Umamusume version of Aston Machan and her career. This video will mainly focus on real-life events with some Umamusume tie-ins. Machan's story is a roller coaster, and I plan to release a full in-game analysis when she's available for global players, so they may experience it for themselves.
Alright.
So first and foremost, let's tackle the main topic at hand. Why is Aston Machan presented in the first episode of Umamusume's third season? Specifically, with shots revolving around Daiwa Scarlet and Vodka.
Was it like an unrequited rivalry?
Roles and just stares into the camera. Aston Machan was active during the same time as Daiwa Scarlet and Vodka.
Okay.
As her history unfolds in this video, you will see why she slowly was forgotten. Every Uma present in the game have their real-life identities acquired through licensing agreements with various horse owners. This is often facilitated directly by the JRA. Some owners will simply allow their horses to be represented, while others will have specific requests they'd like implemented in the game and anime series.
Oh, okay.
For Aston Machan, her Umamusume counterpart was supervised heavily by her original owner. Machan is the only Uma to break the fourth wall in this series, directly staring into the camera or shuffling her way into shots if the camera pans or cuts away from her. This is an attempt for her to never be forgotten. A statement which she is absolutely obsessed with. During instances where Machan is the main focus of a scene in the game, she'll always be staring straight at the camera, as if she's not speaking to any other in-world characters,
but to us.
Instead to you as the player, directly requesting you to remember her and not be forgotten. Aston Machan was a mare born on March 5th, 2004, at the Shadai farm in Hokkaido. Her sire was Admire Kazin, and her dam Rustling Copes. Kazin was a two-time G1 winner both at the Asahi High Futurity Stakes and the Yasuda Kinen. Aston Machan would be among the first crop of Admire Kazin. From birth, the farm personnel had evaluated Machan as a horse of great potential. Due to this, Machan was placed in one of many JRA select sales, where promising foals are put up for sale to be acquired by various owners. It was highly believed that with the promising evaluation, Machan would be purchased in no time. What was unexpected was the individual who would purchase Machan. Even with an impressive evaluation, initially, Machan found no potential buyers. This was mainly due to the fact of her being the first crop of Kozine offspring. No previous data was available, which deferred many potential buyers. Eventually, Aston Machan was purchased by Dr. Mayumi Tosa, who was a female physician. Machan would be according to available records, the first horse owned and raced by Mayumi, who at the time was still a widely unknown name in the world of horse racing. The name Aston Machan comes from a combination from the British luxury car brand Aston Martin,
and
alongside Mayumi's school nickname of Machan.
Oh!
Mayumi was a fan of James Bond and wanted her newly acquired mare to run as fast as the car driven by him, the Aston Martin. Aston Machan, following the acquisition by Mayumi, would be placed in the Rito Training Center, where she'd eventually be paired with Sei Ishizaka. Like many others, Ishizaka was skeptical of Machan's potential, being the first crop of Kozin offspring. During the training that followed, and despite the mass skepticism, Machan showed great potential. She was incredibly light on her feet, allowing her to show excellent speed as training progressed. Machan was also a fast learner, being among the most advanced group in terms of progress leading to her 2-year-old year. Just like her name, both Mayumi and Ishizaka believed that Machan could perform well even in state-graded races. On July 22, 2006, Aston Machan entered the Kokura racecourse for her debut. Though Machan showed promising speed during training, it was still unclear what racing aptitudes suited her best. For this race, Machan would also be ridden by the renowned jockey Yutaka Take.
Why? I thought I recognized him. Oh my goodness.
With Take as her jockey and her impressive speed. The favorite was Charmant Reni, jockeyed by Ryuji Wada. Though second favorite, the odds difference was minimal between the two racers. Take decided to use this as an opportunity to teach Machan how to race, easing her into the scene rather than forcing her to go all out. A racehorse can show promising talent, but having an exceptional jockey can only elevate that performance. Over the course of the race, Take kept steady pace of Machan, and on the final home stretch, a fierce battle erupted between the two favorites. Machan would ultimately lose this race to Reni, and a new discovery would be unveiled about Machan as well. At the final home stretch, Machan, as Take recounts, seemed startled and began losing focus, drifting outward as the race progressed. This caused Machan to be overtaken. She struggled with concentration, and this was something that her trainer took note of, aiming to help her overcome this hurdle alongside her. Even though she placed second, it was clear that Machan could perform well in short-distance races. Due to this, the following 3 races Machan would participate in would range from 1,200 to 1,400 meters.
Okay, a bit shorter, so
only act to solidify her strength in short-distance racing. In her second race, the 2-year-old maiden, Machan would hang in second place, and alongside Wada, overtake the leading position, securing a victory by a half length.
Nice.
At the knee-size stakes, Machan's third race, something extraordinary quickly unfolded. Samejima, a relatively new jockey, kept Machan in second place.
My god, look how fast they are, man. Damn.
This strategy was the same Samejima had used with another horse of Ishizaka's stable, Paradise Bird. As they approached the final 200 meters, Machan challenged a first place position, and before long, overtook the lead, securing a confident victory. To the audience, Machan was strong. She blitzed past the leading position, but she didn't look like she was anywhere near her limit. Machan's fourth race, the Fantasy Stakes, would once more pair her with Take. This race was Machan's longest distance in her career, being 1,400 meters. Now, before you go commenting that the change in aptitude is minor, it plays a great impact specifically on horses adept to shorter aptitudes. Unlike sprint races, which Machan had been participating in, a horse cannot simply run at full speed from start to finish without issue. Mile distances and greater act to test a horse's cardiovascular endurance and energy
What's steeplechase?
For horses with limited stamina, burst acceleration, or haste to run away, mile races and beyond are simply out of reach. The media, who had praised Machan for her speed, were now divided over participation in the fantasy stakes.
Okay.
As the race began, it was visibly clear that Take was trying to keep Machan calm, forcing her to retain a steady pace. Had Take not attempted to control Machan, she would have surged to the front as she'd done many times before. Even a well-seasoned jockey like Take struggled to keep Machan restrained until they reached the final homestretch. As they approached the final straight, Take allowed Machan to run freely, and she did not disappoint, boasting a display of explosive acceleration. Machan easily broke away from the rest of the pack, and won the Fantasy Stakes by 5 lengths over the second place recipient, Excuse.
Damn,
This wasn't
man.
only a staggering victory, but also a record-setting time of 1 minute 20.3 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
This victory not only relieved Take, but also Aston Machan's trainer and owner. This 200-meter difference didn't cause Machan a devastating loss, but instead provided a glimpse into a bright future to come in her career. In the game following this race, Aston Machan will ask the player,
Yeah?
"Did your heart race? Were you excited?"
Oh.
The simple answer is yes. The fans, Take, Mayumi, and Ishizaka were all overjoyed by Machan's stellar performance. Take would later comment on Machan's performance in the Fantasy Stakes
Damn, man.
and his reasoning behind holding Machan back for so long. At this point, the media was already drumming up Aston Machan's name. She was an incredibly strong filly, and many believed that she had the capabilities of winning the upcoming Oka Sho, the first leg of the Triple Tiara. The record time was already impressive, but what was even more staggering to witness was
Thank you,
Machan's
KB and
ability
Son.
to distance herself by 5 lengths with ease over a mere 100 meters. Take would state that he was all too aware of Machan's inability to retain focus, and due to this, he'd wait until the last possible moment to allow her to fully burst forward.
Right, until then
Machan had a
she's
tendency
in
to
her
let her
control.
mind wander, so Take did all he could to remain vigilant and lead Machan for a majority of the race. Though Take would state that Machan appeared to have eased her way into racing, and this race in particular did yield results, he also would state that as the competition got stronger, Machan's lack of concentration would be her greatest weakness. Take would continue, addressing Machan's aptitude. Though she was fast in the final 100 meters, Take observed that Machan simply wanted to rush forward, and due to this, he concluded that her best distance would most likely remain at 1200 meters.
Right.
A month later, on December 3rd, 2006, Aston Machan would participate in the Hanshin Juvenile Fillies, her first participation in a G1 race. Once more, Take would take the reins, ready to guide Machan to another victory and overcome her lack of concentration. This race would be 1600 meters in length, and due to Machan's previous Fantasy Stakes win, her team was confident that she could display her monstrous speed even with a 400 meter difference over her preferred aptitude. Machan would be the favorite to win, sitting at a 1.6 to 1 odds. As the race began, right out of the gate, Machan attempted to surge forward. Even with his vast experience, Take still struggled to manage her, eventually calming her and positioning themselves in 5th place along the inside of the course.
Okay.
Fans were seeing once more both Machan's speed and Take's expertise in action.
Okay.
Sticking close to the rails until the final corner, Take kept control of Machan, and down the final straight, Take broke through the leading group and Machan surged forward. Just like the Fantasy Stakes, they began distancing the lead horses. But unlike the Fantasy Stakes, this time, a new challenger would emerge. From the far outside pursued a Dark Bay filly, one displaying a monstrous spurt to catch the leading position. Soon, a head-to-head duel began between Machan and this Dark Bay filly, and ultimately, Machan would lose by a neck.
Oh my,
The horse
who is that?
Machan's
Vodka!
incredible speed and proved victorious was named Vodka.
Damn.
Vodka, though at the time still widely unknown, was
Yo,
a racehorse capable
bruh.
of strong performances.
Vodka looks so
utilizing
freaking cool,
longer
man.
strides inherited from her sire, Tiny No Gimlet. She showed a clear display of potential, defeating Machan in this race. Vodka wasn't the favorite, but sat 4th to win this race. Vodka also had recently entered the racing scene, only debuting a month before racing off against Machan.
Damn, yeah.
This race would be the beginning of a dominant presence in the racing world by Vodka, one that would redefine her generation and leave a lasting impact on the world of horse racing.
Wow.
Vodka was strong, but her jockey, Hirofumi Shi, was also a well-seasoned jockey in his own regard.
Man.
She had ridden Agnes Digital in the 2001 Autumn Tenno show, ending the legendary reign of the Overlord.
Wait, what?
TM Autumn Tenno in his own regard. Hirofumi Shi
Right.
was also a well-seasoned jockey in his own regard.
Mm.
She had ridden Agnes Digital in the 2001 Autumn Tenno show, ending the legendary reign of the Overlord, TM Opera O.
Oh,
Reflecting
wow.
on this defeat, the normally calm and collected Take would comment, The opponent was just too strong. She's strong.
Damn,
Aston
man.
Machan's training
Damn.
assistant,
It's all
Kazuya
connected.
Ueda, also would state,
Oh my god, she looks so...
Machan was born in the
man.
wrong era. Though harsh, these words sadly would hold true. Aston Machan being born not only in the same era as Vodka, but also
Daiwa Scarlet as well, man.
two names that you're familiar with. So it's quite ironic how the name Aston Machan remained foreign until you watch this video. It's a perfect example of Ueda's comment. Aston Machan was neither weak nor incapable. In fact, she was far from it. Although she was strong, the Juvenile Fillies race proved that there were opponents far stronger, ones who would lead on to define their era. Trainer Ishizaka would take this loss as a lesson,
Man.
confident Machan could still handle 1600 meter races, and still had high hopes for her 3-year-old racing year. Their next aim would be the Oka Sho, but the question still remained. Could Machan win over such strong opponents? With 2006 coming to a close, Machan would race 5 total times, placing first in 3 and second in 2.
Damn!
An impressive
Oh my-
record for her 2-year-old year.
Yeah.
As
She looked at us.
2007
Yep, I
began,
saw.
Aston Machan would race in the Fillies Review held on March 11th. This race, alongside the Tulip Show, is regarded as one of the 2 major trial races for the Oka Sho. The review is 1400 meters in length, 200 meters shorter than the Juvenile Fillies race Machan participated in the previous year. Machan's rival, Vodka, had also won the Tulip Show the previous week, setting the stage for Machan to prove herself in the second trial race leading up to the Oka Sho. Unsurprisingly, Take remained as Machan's jockey, and Machan, once more, was the overwhelming favorite to win. Take, just like he did previously, restrained Machan from bursting forward straight out of the gate, easing her into 3rd place as the race continued. Allowing Machan to fully spurt down the final straight, she quickly overtook the lead effortlessly, claiming a victory by 2.5 lengths over the 2nd place recipient, Amano Cherry Run.
Damn.
Even with this victory, and redemption from her previous defeat, something didn't sit right with Take. After the race, he commented that Machan has too much speed. Though it could be seen as a compliment, it was not a statement of unqualified praise. Take didn't simply state that Machan was fast, but the fact that she was too fast. Her uncontrollable urge to run at full speed straight out of the gate consumed far too much stamina, making increased distances difficult for her to overcome. According to Take, there were many things Machan still needed to learn in racing. The Oka Sho will be on the outer track and the competition fierce. Even with these comments, trainer Ishizaka would still hold hope in winning the Oka Sho. When faced with the media, he advised them to share the reality of Machan's situation and not simply her triumphs. This was an ever-growing uphill battle, and despite being best suited for 1200 meter races, her team pushed forward to have her compete in greater distances. As the Oka Sho rapidly approached, horse racing journalists analyzed the filly rankings and produced their findings. At the top spot, undisputed, stood Vodka, as an overwhelming favorite with 99
Rated
points.
99.
Below
Oh my
Vodka
god.
was Daiwa Scarlet, standing at 94. And below both of them stood Aston Machan, tied in 3rd place with 83 points, with Excuse and Nishino Charmy. Vodka's evaluation was overwhelming, and her status as the main favorite for the Oka Sho remained unshaken. Scarlet, who sat 1 place under Vodka, had only narrowly lost to her at the Tulip Show. Even so, Scarlet was still highly regarded due to her exceptional pedigree, being a granddaughter of Sunday Silence and the progeny of Agnes Tachyon. As
I think
stated
I knew
before,
that.
Machan, due to her sprinting aptitude, was simply born in the wrong generation. She was an adept to greater distances, and to top it all off, she shared the race course with 2 monsters of her generation.
Yeah,
Even with
flipping
her
hell,
strength,
dude. I gotta put some
Machan
respect
began
on
to
their names,
fade
man.
into their shadow. On April 8, 2007, Aston Machan would enter the race course against these 2 era-defining mares. Vodka, jockeyed by Hirofumi Shi, stood as the overwhelming fan favorite with a 1.4 to 1 odds. Aston Machan, once more jockeyed by Yutaka Take, stood second at a 5.2 to 1 odds. Under Machan was Daiwa Scarlet, jockeyed by Katsumi Ando, who stood at a 5.9 to 1 odds.
Okay,
It is
okay.
important to note that in this race, the fourth horse, Shonan Talent, would stand at a staggering 34.7 to 1 odds, and fifth favorite, Emmy's Smile, stood at 44.6 to 1. It was obvious, even if evaluated lower than Vodka and Scarlet, many still saw Machan's potential to emerge victorious at the Oka Sho.
Yeah.
The audience expected to see a fierce three-way battle for the finish, with these three favorites each pushing the other to their limit. The truth is, two would live up to that expectation.
Oh no, where
with
did
one
she
falling
place?
further behind in their shadow. This race in particular is a primary reason for Machan's appearance in Umamusume as a background character to Scarlet and Vodka, a ghost who never utters a single word, yet demands
He used the word, he
viewers'
said ghost.
undivided attention. Unlike previous races, Take wouldn't be able to restrain Machan,
Oh no.
showing her usual temperament, defying Take. Machan would run at full speed to second place approaching the final corner. Crossing into the final home stretch, Machan would drift further behind. Take, who had already expressed his concern with Machan on longer aptitudes, would once more comment that Machan continued to show sprinter tendencies. Had she run smoothly with the flow of Take's guidance, he had full belief that she could have contested both Vodka and Scarlet at the Oka Sho. Scarlet emerged victorious, with Vodka narrowly taking second place.
Okay, and?
This would mark the shift in their generation,
Oh.
with Scarlet and Vodka trailblazing a legacy together, while Aston and Machan will be forced to follow a different path.
What?
It had become clear that Machan
did I miss it?
thrived in sprints, but the devastating loss at the Oka Sho only acted to solidify this thought. Even with Take at the reins, races beyond that aptitude were not suitable for Machan at all. After the Oka Sho, Aston Machan's team decided to give her a long break and plan for the future. This break would last from April to July in 2007. As Machan rested, her rivals would continue to make history. Vodka would be the first mare in 64 years to win the Tokyo Yushun, the Japanese Derby, and Scarlet would not only win the Oka Sho, but would go on later in that year to win the Shuka Sho as well. Heeding Take's previous assessment on Machan, the path was set to pursue a career of only sprint races, staying true to Machan's natural aptitude. On August 12, 2007, Machan will return to the racing scene, participating in the Kitakyushu Kinen, a G3 sprint race. Her jockey this time was Yasunari Iwata, who had previously won his first graded race with Believe. Machan was the overwhelming favorite, sitting at a 1.8 to 1 odds. As the race began, Machan showed great promise, displaying to the audience the difference between her behavior in this race to her longer distance ones.
Trading out, baby!
She displayed her natural speed, and while other experienced sprinters struggled to push forward, Machan would continue her confident pace.
Nice.
As they hit the final home stretch, Machan would fall behind,
Oh no!
with 5 racers in total surpassing her. This
Oh!
ultimately resulted in Machan placing 6th, and left many questions for her team to tackle.
No.
This stage should have been ideal for her, so why did she falter?
I spoke too soon.
Was this not her preferred aptitude? Was the team's guidance wrong?
The Vodka and Scarlet
A
went there.
dominating display in her 2-year-old year left one answer: the fact that she had matured early, and now her performance began to plateau. Lingering concerns also existed of overcorrection. Perhaps her time with Take and longer aptitudes resulted in mental instability. With lingering concerns, the team was forced to press onward to their main target, yet another G1 race, the Sprinter Stakes. On September 30th, 2007, that day would finally arrive. This was Machan's opportunity to redeem herself and prove her mastery in sprint races. In preparation for this race, Machan had practiced more on slope-based tracks, aiming to strengthen her body. Over time, her results became visibly clear. Her muscle mass increased, and she rose 10 kilograms in the course of a month. For the Sprinter Stakes, Aston Machan wouldn't be jockeyed by Yutaka Take. Take had already previously agreed to riding Suzuka Phoenix in the very same race. Phoenix, who was owned by Keiichi Nagai, the same owner of Silent Suzuka, had a long-standing relationship with Take. Due to the current circumstances,
will do. Thank you.
Machan would be jockeyed by Eiji Nakadate. This proved to be peculiar for many fans, seeing as Nakadate had been active over 10 years earlier and was the main jockey for the great filly Hishi Amazon. Even into the 2000s, he remained a top jockey, ranking among the top 10 nationwide. This mainly came as a shock, since at this point in his career, Nakadate primarily only rode local tracks. Nakadate had claimed many wins in regional races, even achieving 100 wins in a year, but these days, it was rare to see him in a Central G1 race. Of course, this unexpected addition garnered the question, why him? As conversation continued, skepticism quickly grew to excitement. Eventually, the common answer was reached. Nakadate would allow Aston Machan to take the lead and be a true front runner. You see, Nakadate wasn't only the jockey for Hishi Amazon, but another horse you're all too familiar with from Umamusume, a front-running horse that ran with everything they had, an unprecedented front-running strategy that would even defeat Rice Shower. Nakadate was the main jockey for Twin Turbo, and with all types of running, he was well known as a master front runner. The team behind Machan fully intended to unleash her abundant sprinting ability and utilizing one of Japan's best in the field. They had their sights set to win the Sprinter Stakes. Up until this point, Machan had run cautiously, but that caution was thrown aside to allow Machan to do what she defiantly attempted so many times before, to run to her heart's content. There was no turning back, and the team, alongside Ishizaka, had taken precaution to ensure this transition went smoothly. The track this time would be heavy due to rain, a condition requiring brute strength to overcome. Luckily for Aston Machan, her team had already trained her to possess that monstrous strength required. As the gates opened, Longren, jockeyed by Hirofumi Shi, exploded out of the gate, displaying a perfect start to the Sprinter Stakes. Even this start would be easily surpassed though. Unleashing all her power and unrestricted by her jockey, Machan made an incredible push to the front, easily surpassing and overtaking Longren. This was shocking to everyone watching. This wasn't a debut race. This was a G1, with every horse being a top racer in terms of it's like a re-debut kind of, with new strats. Even with this roster of expert sprinters, Machan had surpassed them all. She was faster than them all. Even with the heavy track conditions, Machan led. Nakadate's guidance finally allowed Machan to fully thrive on the course. She maintained her lead uncontested, keeping 3 lengths between her and second position. This lasted until the final homestretch, where she'd extend that lead to 4 lengths. Oh my god! As the narrowed the gap, Machan crossed the finish line. From start to finish, she yielded her lead to no one. After so many trials and so much hardship, Aston Machan had finally claimed her long-awaited G1 victory, establishing herself as the new sprint queen. This race will also be a milestone for Nakadate, winning his first G1 race in 13 years. He later stated that he'd have his own strategy to have Machan win, but Ishizaka simply told him to bring out Machan's full power. No restrictions, no stress. Just ride in a relaxed position. Ishizaka is the trainer, isn't it? But Ishizaka simply told him to bring out Machan's full power. No restrictions, no stress. Just ride in a relaxed position. Nakadate was extremely grateful to Ishizaka for this request, allowing him to reignite the passion he had to race on a big stage. To say the response from Machan's team was emotional would be an understatement. Nearly every single member were on the verge of tears for Machan's win, finally being able to see her full potential after so many roadblocks in her career. Even though she would never stand aside Vodka or Scarlet, she had made her mark, claiming a victory on the greatest stage for Japan's sprinters. Aston Machan was still a 3-year-old horse, and it had been 15 years since a horse that young had claimed a victory at the Sprinter Stakes. Only Nishino Flower had done the same before in 1992, making Machan the second 3-year-old horse ever to win. Machan was also younger than Flower at this time,
so the youngest,
making her the youngest horse in Japan's history to win, only elevating the accolades. Even with this monumental victory, it sadly will remain in the shadow of the 2 super fillies of her generation. Sadly, as we've seen many times before, with this victory, would come a tragic downfall.
Wait, what?
Her 10th race would be at the Swan Stakes, where alongside Nakadate, she'd devastate the audience and finish 14th. With Machan being a young horse, expectations were still high to see a turn in her career in the Hong Kong Sprint in December. Equine influenza forced Machan to withdraw, and once more, it was announced that she'd rest for the remainder of the year. On February 10th, 2008, Aston Machan entered the Silk Road Stakes, this time accompanied once more by Yutaka Take. Instead of trying to ease into longer distances, Take would allow Machan to show her full strength in her preferred 1200 meter distance. Even with this once more being Machan's specialized aptitude, she'd ultimately place 10th. Even Take was unsure of what had occurred. Unlike before, he hadn't felt anything off with Machan, nor did he act to hold the reins to command her to pace. Like previous evaluations, Machan was still young, and only showed potential to grow as her team planned to race her in the Takamatsunomiya Kinen in March. Following this, her team had high hopes and planned to race her overseas.
Okay.
But that did not happen.
Oh no. What?
A newspaper article published in April 2008 would be headlined,
I got a bad feeling about
Aston
this.
Machan, sudden death. Death due to acute heart failure. The article continued, Aston Machan, last year's Sprinter Stakes winner, who had been treated at the Rito Training Center Clinic for X-colitis, died on April 21st, 2008. She had 11 career starts and 5 wins, including 4 graded victories.
What was that? Sorry. I guess
And 5 wins.
I guess Pirates might explain that.
Machan, last year's Sprinter Stakes winner, who had been treated at the Rito Training Center Clinic for X-colitis, died on April 21st, 2008. She had 11 career starts and 5 wins, including 4 graded victories. X-colitis is colitis of unknown causes. According to a JRA doctor, Kiminobu Yoshinari, mental factors such as stress are also considered.
Yeah.
Only 5 to 6 horses per year develop it in the JRA.
Oh my god.
Some recover, and some do not. Machan had received dedicated treatment for about 2 months, but the staff's wishes for her to recover would never be fulfilled. To say Machan's death hit her team hard would be a drastic understatement.
Man.
No one took the loss more severely than Ishizaka, who was haunted by regret and blamed himself for Machan's premature passing.
Oh no.
Her instability, though often seen as overexcitement, was a sign that Ishizaka truly feels he ignored. Though this video has shown clear care for Aston Machan, Ishizaka truly felt he could have done more to care for her, to properly address her mental instability. Reporter Daiki Matsunami will later publish just how much Machan's declining health impacted Ishizaka. A phone call had come to inform Matsunami of Machan's condition. At the time, he was with trainer Ishizaka, who heard each word relayed about Machan's declining health. Matsunami described his expression as solemn. Ishizaka truly loved Aston Machan, and even with the struggle getting her suited to certain aptitudes, he always tried his best to make sure everything ran smoothly. Matsunami would continue, contrasting this moment of sadness when Ishizaka relayed their plan to have Machan race in the Sprinter Stakes. Matsunami gleefully recalled Ishizaka's grin when he announced Nakadate's addition to the team. Some judged Ishizaka's choice with Machan's career, but ultimately, Matsunami stood behind his belief that Ishizaka was the best choice. This experience of grief would later influence the training of one of the strongest fillies Ishizaka would work with, Gentle Donna. Learning from the grief and regret of Aston Machan, he'd aimed to look after Gentle Donna more intensely, ensuring such carelessness wasn't allowed to happen again. Aston Machan, despite being born in a strong generation,
for us to watch
one
this,
defined by Sunday Silence blood, would blaze her own path. She was described as a charming filly, and through her journey of hardship, had gained an idol-like popularity. As the years progressed though, she began to fade to a distant memory, behind the shadow of Scarlet and Vodka. This would be the reason Machan aims to never be forgotten in the world of Umamusume. The reason she's behind the shadow of vodka and scarlet, and why she appears so often looking directly into the camera. She wants you to remember her. The only way her legacy can continue is if she's
Bro, her story must be crazy
a
to play as
silent
well.
but desperate plea, masked behind a gleaming smile, and eyes longing for the adoration she received during her time racing. This was the story of Aston Machan, a filly who paved her own legacy, and against Japan's strongest, still left a mark on the racing world. Personified in Umamusume by a soft-spoken Uma with a deep compassion for her fans, and a yearning to never be forgotten. Did you enjoy this video? And what was your favorite part? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below.
My guy.
Thank you all for joining me.
Thank you.
And as always, I will see you all in the next video.
My god, the editing is astounding, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff there. The music choices as well. No, man. Oh my goodness. I could feel where this was going as well. I mean, I don't have words. I just don't. I don't have words. I don't know what to say, man. It's tough, bro. I really want you to see a story. I would love to, man. Like that's the kind of vibe that I felt like. You know how she was just standing there in the in season 3, right? In episode 1. I felt like, you know, watching the beginning of this. That's again a testament to how well Pyrex does his videos, man. Such incredible storytelling. IRL horse racing is tough, man. Oh my god. It's expensive, it's stressful, there's lives involved. Yeah, I don't know how people do it, bro. I don't know how people do it. Oh my god, man. Guys, thank you so much for following me on my Umamusume journey as well. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for all of your requests as always. It's amazing when we get to dive into these essays as well, right? Like, we had the fun stuff. We have them playing, we have the memes. We've got the stories in Umamusume. We have them playing games. And then we also have stuff like this as well, bro. And I really think it is important to know the source material. And I'm talking about the IRLs, right? So really appreciate that. And now, we will never forget Aston Machan, man. Again, thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate it big time. And thank you, Pyrex, as always. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, especially to Pyrex, for more incredible content. And Pyrex gave us like a list of when to watch what as well, according to where we are in the season. So I appreciate that massively. Thank you guys as well, man. Appreciate you big time.
You are king. Dream, 조선의 탄조, 조선의 조리어 받고, 결혼만 실로, 스스밤에 시켰다 by the 비가, yeah. 하나 사간 스누가시 바나시 카나 스토리 when I stroke, yeah. My title, you king, title. I do it for the fam, I do it for the team, yeah. I do it with my hands, team one till we're hand, and no, you got to eat so 3 right, you poke time the fam. Yeah, verse again, so too. Back at either time to go through. Yeah, side dollar, don't know me, Joe, we all want explosion, bam. No doubts, the bills are cruising. Pure cash from the white that I'm moving, never losing. Self-care with the yellow make it for the bleeding and bruising.